evening and welcome to another edition of the Ohm Service Live with me, Marky Mark. You've got Chris from Lethal Curls and Steve from Tales from the Ohm. Good evening, gentle folks. How are we?
Bloody marvellous.
Bloody marvellous. Thursday evening.
Oh, I do like my Thursdays.
I certainly do.
Nearly Friday, nearly the weekend.
I know. But weekends don't mean anything anymore to me.
No, true. Fair point, mate. Fair point.
They just don't. I'm not a big fan. At the present moment, I'm having Sunday off and Wednesday off. And I'll be genuinely honest with you, I don't feel like I'm having a week off.
All right.
I just don't feel like I've had a week off, honestly.
No.
Yes, point. I am like the Duracell bunny tonight.
You can make up for mine. Lack of.
Have you got a little copper-coloured top?
Mine's have. No, it's just so like white and like a mucky mousy brown.
Oh,
I know. So then, Chris, are you going to say hello to chat for us?
I surely can. Hello, all in chat. Anyways, we'll go from the top here. We've got Net Reality. What's going on, man? Tiberius Jax is in the house. Vapor Bunny, Chris Earl, how you doing? Gailey, how are you? Voodoo Ultras. We've got Bill Nick in chat. Reno, Russ Morgan, Mad Dog Murdoch, how are you, buddy? David Evans, what's going on? Elizabeth Jones, Jay Jerry, Jason Lee, Flashy 1221, what's going on, brother? Haven't seen you in a while. Did I say JP Ward? No, I did not. Hello, JP Ward and Andy Harris. Hello. Timmy YTS, how are you, buddy? Mick Beavers, my man, the late Sheboygan Late Night Show. That's the one, the Sheboygan Late Night Show. Mick Beavers, how are you, buddy? And that will bring us to the bottom of the list.
Bill,
thank you guys for joining us.
Bill, I hope you're feeling better soon, mate. No worries. He's made a mistake with his meds, so he's a bit out of it.
And I've got to do it. Huggles to Gail and extra huggles to Vaping Bunny.
Indeed.
Got to keep my cuddles to the girls.
I do like the description as well from Bunny. Turkish hooker blonde.
I like it.
You've seen the size of the geezers in those steam rooms?
No.
Oh. Oh, what a week.
You're not kidding, what a week. It's been so like doom and gloom and more doom and gloom and a bit of interesting. I've got to admit, the PHE, that was an interesting read, if anyone has had a look at it. That is a good read. Have you got the link?
I have.
If you've got the link, do you want to slap it in link, just in case people have missed it? No, yes, I've had a trim as well, yeah. I went to Bone.
Hello.
Yeah, I thought I do this every so often. Last time I did it was about 7 years ago. But this is a couple of days worth of growth, so.
There you go, links in chat. Am I saying Turkish hookers are big burly blokes? The ones I've met? Possibly. What can I say, Bunny? Always keep one's options open.
One door closes, another one opens.
Yeah, especially the back one. Right.
There we go.
Next up.
And here we go.
Good evening, Des.
Hello, Des. All right, matey.
How are you, Des?
So what kind of week you had, kidder?
What's that?
What kind of week have you had?
Shite week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you look in better spirits than you did last week.
Yeah, that issue is still bugging me a bit.
Yeah.
That issue with my buddy Mark is still...
Yeah, of course it will. I mean, then things don't just go away, do they?
No. So, and then, to top it all off, I think it was Monday morning, I had to put one of my rats down, so...
Yeah, so it's been a bit tough for you, hasn't it, kiddo? So you've got some news for us, haven't you? You've got some interesting news happening over there in the United States of America.
Yeah. Actually, I have two things. We've got. Which one are you talking about? The one we were just talking about before the show?
You talk away, mate. You just talk away.
Okay, all right. I will just talk then.
We'll just sit back, relax, and let you talk away.
Talk away. All right. Well, I can talk as much as I know. Well, first up, we've got May 2nd. This was a new development as of yesterday, at least beknownst to me. But May 2nd is the next DC rally in Washington. We will be holding the rally outside of the NIH building and the FDA headquarters. I know that security is going to be massively tight there. So just be careful, be cautious if you're going. Don't cause a scene. Don't do anything that is going to incite a riot or, start instigating the
Is it going to be exactly like the one that happened last year?
Yeah, it was last fall.
Is it going to be exactly the same format?
Yep, UVA is putting it on. United Vapors Alliance is the one that's organizing it. I know that the VTA is going to be involved, and the MVA as well, the Maryland Vapor Association, will be there as well. Mm-hmm. As far as I know, I still have to talk to my buddy from there.
So is Matt Cully and all the gang going to be there?
I'm not sure yet. Like I said, this was brand new development as of yesterday, so I haven't had a chance to really find out who's going to be there or not. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming, and it would be a stretch for me to say that Legion won't be there. It's a pretty good assumption that you can expect Matthew Elliott from Legion to be there. He does everything he can to advocate, and he goes to every rally he can possibly make. So that's that.
Don't apologise for the dog.
Yeah, I am.
Why?
No.
It's your doggy.
He's old and he's senile and he barks at anything.
Yeah, you ought to bring him into chat. Have him sat there just with you.
Be careful, be cautious, and bring lube just in case. Hashtag 101 things to do with a police truncheon.
Nice one.
I got me a deviant on a stick, Sarge.
Deviant on a stick.
Oh, bless. No.
What is it? Anything that can be given in evidence, anything you say will be given in evidence. It's all like, please, officer, please don't hit me with that baton.
Yeah, seriously. But yep. So that's about May 2nd.
So that's May 2nd, is it?
Yep, May 2nd. I don't know the time. I just know the place. Those are the only details that I have at this moment. I'm trying to get there.
Yep.
My goal is to get there. Some people may have seen that I started a GoFundMe to get me down there. I'm going to be doing what I can to put together all the money I can here. But I'm assuming I'm going to need help, so in advance. But that's the DC rally I plan on going to. And then the second thing up that I had on my mind that I'm sure you guys have already heard about, the federal flavor ban.
Yep.
It passed through the House of Representatives. It's going to Senate now. I do believe they still killed. No, they didn't kill anything. That was New Hampshire. So yeah, I guess it's still on the table. So that's coming up too, as well as a hearing. I can't remember where it was. There was a hearing being held on a flavor ban. But yeah, there's a bunch of them going on right now. A lot of them. Oh, Connecticut. That's what it was.
Yeah.
There's a flavor ban, full flavor ban, minus tobacco, that's getting pushed through, as well as a 35 milligram per milliliter limit on nicotine, which I think is still a little excessive. I think they could have brought that down to 24 milligram. I mean, kids. Youth are still going to get their hands on 35 milligram and still get their Nick fix. I think that 24 milligram is a good stopping point.
Well, I mean, we here in the UK, we're 20 milligrams.
Right.
So, I mean, if we can acclimatise to it, I'm sure every bugger else can.
Absolutely.
To be fair. So I've got to ask I've got to mention it. Mr. Mullen, Vaping with Vic. I thought we'd best mention it. I mean, poor lad's had his channel literally taken down.
Yep, pulled out from under him.
So
Good evening, John.
Good evening, John. Fist bump and thank you very much.
Who's Kelvin?
So, yeah, it's something that I did want to briefly, before we get into the big news, briefly talk about it. Where do you think, you two guys think that this is going to lead to other reviewers? Do you think we're going to be extremely careful on how we do it? Or do you think it's sort of like, well, we just might as well sort of like pack it in?
I would prepare to pack it in, but I would say be cautious at the moment.
Mm.
You know, I would say be prepared, be ready to shut everything down, but don't do it yet.
I appreciate what you're saying, but there's a lot more to it than just reviews.
Mm.
Take our live shows, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
We discuss it, we don't review it.
Mm. Mm-hmm. But we're still demonetised.
We're still demonetised, but other than the occasional trip to the gutter, what are they going to pull us on?
Mm. Oh yeah, I mean this is but this is just a live show. We're actually talking about actual reviewing.
Yeah, and
because from what I'm understanding from Vic's posts is that he's been, this last final strike was due to the fact that they're trying to say that he was selling a product.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a reviewer, it's obviously, we all know that we are reviewing, we're not selling a product, but
right.
Is that the fine line that they're going to take? Because you're reviewing something, that means that you're selling something.
No, that just doesn't stand up. Look at the tech review.
Mm.
Yeah?
Yeah, but that's not a restricted product. You see, that's the thing that you've got to keep in the back of your mind. Vaping is classed as a tobacco product, which is now a restricted product within YouTube.
Right. Yeah, okay. But when you've got people reviewing weight loss programs, things like that, that's medicine. Yeah, that's classed as medical. That still goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And they are far more infomercial than a vape review. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
The reason they've got the hard on is because of all the kerfuffle over the THC deaths. Yeah? You've got, everybody's trying to sort of protect themselves, compartmentalise it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Now, if they were going after every reviewer, it wouldn't just be it wouldn't just be Fagan, it wouldn't just be Vic. It'd be everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Be Grim. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Grim's been striked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he's not, Jared's had what, 2?
No, he's had a load.
Has he had a load?
Yeah, he's had a load. He's had a load taken out, down as well. I think in one strike he had 57 videos taken down.
Oh boy!
And he can only appeal against half of them. He can't appeal against all of them.
That's crazy. That is absolutely mad. The only people that have a problem with vaping, yeah, and the main cause of a lot of the problems is the states. Yeah? Because if you look at it, India, they followed the information from the FDA and CDC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? The Asians, so in the Southern Asian areas, a lot of that is down to pressure from, say, Philip Morris, when we're talking the Philippines. Japan, they've been very distrustful of vaping from the start, but the information coming out of America, which was wrong, it backed up their argument. Yeah. Now the EU is getting involved with the WHO. Now, as we mentioned on Sunday, Bloomberg's got his fingers in that pie. Now,
But getting back to what we're talking about here and now about somebody that's doing a product review of a vape device.
and
They're not putting links in the descriptions. They're not doing anything that they think can be classed as selling.
right.
Do you think that is... How far do you think that YouTube's actually going to go with this? Do you think it's going to be a case of if you review a restricted product like vaping is, do you think they're just going to outright ban us completely? Are they trying to... Do you think they are trying to get rid of vaping in general?
And that's where I was going with the Bloomberg bit, because obviously he's got a lot of fingers in various companies which provide advertising for YouTube. Yeah? And I think that's what we're seeing.
Political influence within the
a lot of political influence within the industry. I think they would be hard pressed to justify it if you were just doing a straight review with no links. Because
Bunny's just turned around. Reviewing and selling are two completely different things. They are two totally different things. But the problem is, YouTube's not seeing it that way.
See, you've got to look at the likes of Insta, yeah, who are brought in with Facebook. They've now looking at the so-called influencers, aren't they? And there was a lot of hoo-ha about people being underage, under 21, influencer, etc. And as Dale's just said, it's their sandpit. It is their sandpit. But in my opinion, there is no viable alternative. If you want to do vape reviews, yes, you've got VapeTube, yeah?
Yep.
But that's it. Because even Vic's back up, yeah? You go trawling on that to see who's actually putting content onto that.
Well, on BitTube. Yeah, that is not...
There is some scary stuff on there.
I've never been to BitTube.
There is some very scary stuff on there. Yeah. I completely agree with Bunny. YouTube are under pressure from the powers that be. 100%. Hiya, Ryan. It's at the end of the day, YouTube are in it for the cash.
Yeah, of course they are. It's a business.
You've got Bloomberg, who owns such a raft of business.
Speaking of Bloomberg, have you heard the news about him?
Oh, go on.
He's dropped out of the presidential campaign.
Yeah, yes. He's
so has Elizabeth Warren.
He's supporting, what's his face now, isn't he?
Sanders?
Biden.
Oh, Biden.
Yeah.
That's... If I was a vapor in the States, I'd be breathing a sigh of relief at that.
Yeah.
But I still think in the background, he and the antis are putting a lot of pressure on various social media.
So, okay, with that all said, as a reviewer, how do you think we ought to go about doing our reviews?
I think you leave the links out, but you still give the information within the video. By its very nature, it's a nicotine-containing... It's a device for the consumption of nicotine-containing liquid. But there's no nicotine in it.
Right.
That definition is pure from the States.
Oh, yeah, of course it is.
Nobody else considers e-cigs
a tobacco product.
Right. Yeah? That's like saying that...
Easy. Maybe not so much the hierarchy of reviewers. I'm on about people with large amounts of subs. But the smaller YouTubers, and when I say smaller YouTubers, I'm talking about sort of like towards our end of the YouTube spectrum. I get emails from a company that I'll tell you now. Vaporesso sent me an email yesterday telling me make sure that I put www.vaporesso.com in the video and in the description. So people are getting pressurised. If they're giving me them emails, you're also getting pressurised by other companies to do that as well. Now, maybe younger or newer reviewers might be tempted to obviously to win favour with the actual company to actually start putting links in. That's one of the worries that I have.
No, and that puts a new spin on it. I think it's very remiss of the firm to actually be suggesting something that would get your channel a strike.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you wouldn't say. I can't see how they can justify that. They know the rules as well as we do. Now, I appreciate they're sending out the review kit.
Now, obviously, somebody that's sort of like fairly new to the reviewing scene and things like that, that's probably not double checked. Because let's face it, I've not gone through every single YouTube guidance.
Community guideline.
I've not gone through everything.
No.
Because I'd still be sat there looking at it now and trying to scratch my head and understand
You'd
it.
need a lawyer standing over your shoulder trying to explain everything to you.
You would. And I think to make I wish that YouTube would make things a lot more clearer. Okay, yes, I appreciate it's their sandpit. I've got no problem with that one. Yes, I appreciate it's not freedom of speech. I totally understand it. It's their sandpit and you have to play by their rules. But their rules are so grey and vague. You don't know if you're doing something right. You want to abide by their rules, but I feel like it's so like, we're playing in your sandpit, but you're not going to tell us what we're doing wrong, but we're going to punish you for doing it wrong. And then when so like something happens and you get a strike, there's nobody that will actually communicate with you and tell you why you got that strike. It's like I got a strike just before Christmas. Now, to be honest with you, I'm still not 100% sure why I got a strike because they wouldn't tell me exactly what I'd done wrong. I could only assume what I'd done wrong by looking at the video. It was an old video. It was from 2017. The only thing that I can think of is that there was a link of some sort in there that I'd missed because I'd gone through all my videos and went one by one and got rid of all the links, even though when the actual videos was released, uploaded to YouTube, at that time period, it wasn't against their ruling that I couldn't have links. So it was so like, hang on a minute, it's so like, was it that or wasn't it that? I still don't know. I'll give you another example. Instagram, not last week, the week before, so a fortnight ago, removed, I had a thumbnail for the My Blue.
Yeah.
And they removed that and told me that it was against their community guidelines. And all it was a picture of the My Blue, the picture of it's a review by SoulOhm, and that was all it was. But they deemed that against their rules.
That's what Bunny says. She's got it right. They have no intentions of telling you what you did wrong. That way they can do whatever they like with your channel with no blowback.
And I think that, I mean, it's wrong. It really is wrong because, let's face it, I only do my reviews to help other people. I am not getting anything beneficial. What I get back is the satisfaction knowing that I've helped somebody.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason. It's the reason why I do this channel. It's the reason why I do this show. Is my passion for vaping, and I want to tell the world about it and help other people. That's all I want to do. And it's sort of like, come on, I'm not trying to. I know.
It's drugs.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to hurt anybody, but it's so like you are so like not giving me the feedback to make me play along with you there.
Yeah, but look, give it a positive spin. The way vaping's going, you're turning into a little sexy Che Guevara.
Why is that?
Because we're becoming the bloody rebels.
I know.
At the minute, it's getting crazy.
It is scary as anything. Because you're so like, you're thinking, right, I'm going to do this review, and you take the time. I mean, let's face it, doing one single hardware review isn't a 2-minute job. You take some serious time out of your life to actually make a review. From editing and all that, like, you do put a lot of effort in for it. Just for somebody or a robot to say, no, we don't like that.
Well, look how many hours Vic's lost. You know. Oh, there you go. Bunny's just said, oh, but Mark. you're hurting tobacco sales because of the demon that is vaping. I'm sure she said it in a much sexier Irish voice.
I'm sure she did. Because she has got a sexy little voice.
Oh, she has.
She has.
But the crazy thing is, Chris mentioned this before the show. It's almost like YouTube, yes, they're wanting to quash vaping. What's next? What's after vaping?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
The weed tubers, there are smokers with channels, like cigarette smokers, cigar smokers, hookah smokers on YouTube with channels like, whoa, bro.
You don't see the cigar channels coming under the same scrutiny as us. And you know why? Because people with power tend to be...
Because of big tobacco, right?
Yeah. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, you look at the report that we put the link in for, and the message that comes from that report is 100% crystal clear. It's still deemed to be 95% safer. There are deemed to be a number of benefits to switching to vaping, to the point where the NHS by 2023-2024 are going to be offering patients with mental health issues the ability to vape indoors, whilst on the ward, as a way of getting them off tobacco products. Now,
I've got to admit, and keeping on the same subject, but if you actually read down, one thing that I did really, really notice, they mentioned about the restriction of flavours.
Yeah.
And they deem it harmful to restrict flavours.
Because it's going to turn people off from the switch. And it doesn't get much clearer than that.
And I want to make it official. Gaily Bops has a very sexy voice as well.
Oh, and those eyes.
Oh, those eyes.
Bo! What's going on, Bo? My dude.
And in Bo's case, that beard.
Ooh. That's one manly beard, that.
On his way into town to drink himself stupid.
Have one for making it.
Aye.
There's no. No. There's a comeback to that, but no. I've seen the size of him. The boy's huge. There's not many people I'm looking up the left nostril of, and Bo's one of them.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that there is some right backhanders. So I'm not going to whine on about this too much because I feel like I'm going to start whining about YouTube. But my heart goes out to Vic. It really does. To have... I mean, how long has he been vaping? Been doing it? Is it 5 years, 6 years, something like that now that he's been doing reviews? To have all that work, effort, time, just taken away in a blink of an eye, my heart genuinely goes out to him.
There's thousands of hours of work gone down.
Yeah, exactly. So from me and the gang, Vic, if you are watching, big fist bump, mate, and we are thinking about you, mate.
Yeah. Now, if you want to join in, if you go onto Vic's Facebook group, if you're already a member, fine. If not, join. There is a link to a tweet that Vic has sent to the YouTube team, and retweeting that may get some peer pressure involved to actually getting them to look at it and reinstating. I wouldn't like to put money on those odds, but it's better than sitting down and doing nothing. So if you want to show some support to the wee man.
I've been asked a question. Flapcat Cap has just asked a question. Mark, what would you do if your channel got struck down? Start again or quit for good? I would start again.
Yep.
I literally would. I probably might not do it actually on YouTube, but I wouldn't quit. Because I've got... I mean, to be fair, I'm coming up to 9 years I've been vaping. I've been doing this now 5 years, coming up to 6 years. And no, I love this. this community and I love what I do. So no, it might not be on YouTube, but I would definitely find another alternative.
With my issues.
But it'd be swapping the baseball cap for a beret and a little red star.
What about you? What about you, Chris?
Call me a quitter, but I would.
You would quit.
I love the community. I love the people, but to have something like what happened to Vic, having put in so much work like that, I wouldn't even bother. I wouldn't even waste my time because it would just happen again.
Bronco, just to say you catch up, he's been working a lot. Vic's channel got its third and termination strike Monday. Was it, Mark?
Yesterday.
Yesterday
He got struck.
Yeah.
Last night, I believe so. I believe it was actually last night. Because I was watching his hump day.
Yeah.
And halfway through hump day, it just stopped. And then all of a sudden, it was literally I was literally halfway through watching his hump day, and it just no longer
Crazy.
available. Came up.
I know I don't do vid reviews, but I'd still carry on doing the written.
Yeah.
And I think there is a big future in that. You know, if you can't do a video review, do a damn written one. You know, it's a lost. It's not as popular now, but the only. Excuse me. What a piggy.
You're a little piggy.
Me being a piggy, yeah. If the only reason that video reviewing has got as popular as it is because it's become technically easier to do. At one point, to do a video review, you would have had to have had thousands of pounds of equipment, specialist internet links, and vice versa, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Now it's in the grasp of the common man, which is us. But it doesn't necessarily mean that other forms of review are dead.
But saying that, I've still spent a lot of money so I can do reviews.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, no, I fully appreciate that.
This isn't, my setup isn't just a cheap little setup. I mean, compared cameras that I've got, microphone I've got, lights I've got, PC that I've created.
Yeah. I haven't even spent a fraction of what you've spent, and I know what you're talking about.
Well, I mean,
to be fair, I've got a few £1,000s worth of gear here.
Oh yeah. I mean, Mark's helped me out. I make no bones about that. No end. Yeah. But even with my purchases, I think I'm clocking around 350, 400 quid. You know.
Oh my goodness, guys, stay up with the conversation. Victor's channel was deleted. It was brought down yesterday evening.
There you go. I mean, Iris has just said he was looking at doing a few electronics videos about repairing the odd thing, and the YouTube actions have put him off the idea. I think it will bite him in the arse. Because, you know, if you put the time and effort into creating content, you want to know that content is safe.
Yeah, of course you do. I mean, fortunately, I've backed up every single video I've ever done. I've got it on a separate individual hardback drive here. What? I missed that. What?
No bones is understandable at your age, BFG.
Come over here and say that, Irish, and you better bring some lube.
Tweak's in the
Vapester.
Hi,
Tweak.
And
my boy Tweak, yeah.
So, getting back to the show, have we got any news, sir?
Well, yes.
How many? News time.
Well, indeed. So, back to the report that we just skimmed. It's a hell of a long report, so I'm not going to go into it in depth. But I will give you the reaction to it from Professor Jamie Brown, who's a professor of Behavioural Science and Health at University College London. E-cigarettes have helped many thousands of smokers to quit in the UK and have an important role to play in reducing the enormous burden of smoking. The report should reassure smokers whose views on the relative harm of e-cigarettes have clearly deteriorated over the last year. That for me, when you're getting people of that calibre pointing out the effect that poor journalism has had, and sensationalism, and have you noticed the coronavirus reporting is getting the same sort of backlash?
Yeah.
It's about time. The proportion of smokers who do not currently use e-cigarettes and believe use is less harmful than smoking has fallen to less than a third, while more than half believe e-cigarettes to be equally or more harmful than smoking. That's mirroring the statistics we've been seeing coming out of the States. The percentage drop is less, but it's definitely mirroring what we've been seeing. One source for these figures is the Cancer Research UK funded Smoking Toolkit study, which is a nationally representative survey of the population in England, which has been recruiting a new sample of approximately 1,700 adults each month since 2006. And John Britton, Director of UK Centre for Tobacco and Alcohol Studies at University of Nottingham, guy who's quite often in the media when it comes to vaping, smoking remains the biggest avoidable cause of death and disability in the UK, and using electronic cigarettes as an effective means of quitting smoking. So these new figures from PHE are disturbing and highlight the urgent need for media campaigns to make sure that all smokers understand that switching to e-cigarettes is one of the most effective ways of quitting smoking and protecting their health. I would also add to that, NHS England need to get their act together. Seriously need to get their act together. When you are still getting GPs giving conflicting information, yeah, it's only going to cause confusion.
It is. I mean, by now, the whole of the NHS now should be singing from the same hymn sheet.
Yeah, and unfortunately they're not, which is crazy. Right, so a bat study shows new vaping technology significantly reduces exposure to toxicants. So a vapor product that contains new to world technology has significantly fewer and lower levels of certain toxicants compared to cigarette smoke. Scientists at British American Tobacco performed a series of chemistry tests designed to look for specific compounds in the vapor from the iSwitch, which is their new vapor product, which uses stainless steel blade to heat e-liquid. So we're not talking a heat not burn. We're effectively talking a metal blade actually going into the e-liquid. I'd not seen anything about the iSwitch, so I may have a look at that.
I'm sure they brought one of them out years back with the blade. Wasn't that a blade where it was sort of like it was silica? Not silica. Ceramic.
Yes, there was a ceramic blade. Was that the vibration?
No. It was still a coil. The coil was obviously inside the ceramic.
Right.
Can you remember that, Chris?
I've only been vaping for 3 years, so I don't know what that is.
Now, according to the article, most conventional vaping devices are based on the coil and wick system, which we're all aware of. According to this, some low-quality coil and wick systems, or those not used in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions, can dry out or overheat, known as dry wicking. No shit. This can cause thermal breakdown of humectants in the e-liquid, leading to formation of toxic compounds. Right, so what you're saying is, by sticking a red-hot blade straight into the e-liquid, yeah, which is going to evaporate inside the glass chamber and then suck up, how's that going to stop the e-liquid from overheating?
Well, that's basically like boiling your e-liquid.
Exactly. I can see a
So how they're having it? You've got a piece of metal, a metal blade that's just stuck in a tank.
Sounds like it. it says, word for word, BAT's new vapor product, which uses a stainless steel blade to heat e-liquid.
Okay, well, I'm not going to diss it just yet. I will until I see it.
Yeah, could be interesting though. We'll keep an eye out for that one.
Voker, fist bump.
Hiya, Voker.
Take it easy, Hef.
Hef, you take it easy, buddy. Oh, he's off to work.
One I did see was, bless them, a well-known New Zealand vaping advocate who returned from the Philippines, resolute that the World Health Organization's steadfast position of tobacco control, not harm reduction, is costing considerable lives globally. The WHO's coming under a lot of flack at the minute.
They ought to.
And then when you bring Bloomberg into the picture with the European report, which he's actually paid for.
Yeah.
There's something about that guy. Forget his anti-vaping stance. There is something seriously shady.
It's all to do with
pound,
shilling, and pence, mate.
Where's that coming from? I'd love to see where he's exactly invested. Really would. So Nancy Lucas, the executive director for CAPRA, which is a coalition of Asian Pacific tobacco harm reduction advocates, try saying that when hammered, says tobacco causes 1 million deaths a year in the Asia Pacific region alone, and the rights of consumers using smoke-free alternatives need to be respected. Because of the WHO's unmoved position, smokers in many countries remain highly vulnerable and are likely to stick with smoking until they die. Let's not forget that about 80% of the world's 1.1 billion smokers live in low and middle income countries like the Philippines. So meeting in Makati City, CAPRA and its member organisations agreed to ramp up its fight against the WHO from a human rights perspective, which is a stance it's an interesting stance because I don't think anybody's taken that one so far.
What, the human rights section? It's true though, isn't it? I mean, let's face it. It's the two parts of all this that ever goes off, especially when you start talking about vaping. Two things that never get mentioned. One is the, how can you put it? Obviously, you've got the human rights side of it. The other one is the enjoyment.
Yeah.
No one mentions that bit about it. It's sort of like I enjoy having a vape. Nobody mentions that side of it. It's always, yes, they're always on about the health side of things and the children and all that, but nobody actually does mention that I actually enjoy having a vape.
Well, in UK law, the only way that the government can get involved, on things like smoking, etc., is for the protection of innocence. Which is, if you remember when they were trying to bring in the rule that you can't smoke in the car with kids in.
That's right, yeah.
It was the only way they could get it through the courts because of the children aspect to it. Now, the CAPRA have said the WHO's FCTCs are mandated to engage with the public, but it chooses not to, despite the public being the major stakeholder. The FCTC also has a mandate to pursue harm reduction as a core tobacco control policy, but it has failed to acknowledge or implement this policy for nearly 20 years. Outrageously, the WHO has effectively deprived smokers of an effective way out of smoking. This, to me, seems a very viable route to make them look at what they're actually doing. Especially when you see some of the shadier documents coming out of the European WHO headquarters with tobacco. We've got the TPD3 coming up, and the WHO are definitely sticking the boot in on that one. Have we reached the point where, as adults, we are just accepting far too much of this?
I think we are. We have turned
it far too long. I don't think it's just now. I think it's been that way for a while.
Oh, it has been there for a long time. I mean, we just we're like sheep. We just seem to accept what somebody, and you know for a fact that the person that's actually coming up with these ideas doesn't even vape, doesn't smoke, doesn't probably drink either, has no true knowledge of what they're actually talking about, but they are making the policies.
I really start to get concerned when you have the great unknowing making the rules for everybody else. I know I've gone back to the States quite a lot tonight, but if you look at some of the Senate's decisions, and they didn't invite members from the vaping community, they invited the antis.
Yeah.
They didn't get pictures taken with vapors, they got pictures taken with kids. Tiberius has just said it for me. 1984 was a warning of the future society. Was it? Keep the tellies on, and as long as they're watching the telly, they ain't thinking about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's what we're turning into, which is...
Because let's face it, I mean, no offence to anybody that's got the coronavirus, and I do apologise for anybody, but that's all you're talking about now. You look on any BBC News, and that is all they are talking about is the coronavirus. That is it. That's your news now. Yeah. And it's so like, while this hand's doing this, they're busy doing something else with this hand over here. But you can't see it, can you? No, because we're talking about corona here now. We're doing other stuff here.
In the UK, nobody's talking about trade agreements and all the rest of it because everybody's running out and buying hand sanitizer and bog roll. You know,
do you know something? There was a guy in Retford today wearing a face mask.
Have you seen him? He's an ugly bugger.
I kid you not. There was a guy walking past our shop today with a face mask on.
Now, I don't know did you see the post in Facebook? Because there was a brilliant one. It was what happens when you buy your face mask from Wish. You know,
yeah, I did see that. I think Gail put that one up.
That had to be the funniest thing I have seen ever.
Yes, it did make me chuckle. If you bought the mask from Wish, yes.
I've never seen such a fine selection of gimp masks in my life.
Black Country Vapor, yeah. I 1984 was a good read suggested to me a while back.
Yeah, but it's a science fiction novel, not a manual.
No.
Just
you get a good idea for the way things are going, though.
But honestly, it was a science fiction novel. It wasn't a manual. And for some reason, it feels like the governments of the world are using it as a manual.
It feels like it.
It bloody well does. I'm sorry to say, but it does.
And finally, we got the BMC, which is the Harm Reduction Journal at biomedicalcentral.com. There was a report done on reviewing literature on smoke-free nicotine and tobacco product exposure and birth outcome endpoints. And to summarise, of the 21 studies reviewed, 12 reported on the use of nicotine replacement therapy, 7 on snus, 1 on an Alaskan product that I've never heard, ICMIC, which I'm guessing is similar to snus.
Okay, I've not heard that before.
And 1 on e-cigarettes. The range of results tends to support the prediction that smoke-free product use during pregnancy probably increases the risk of some negative birth outcomes, but that any effect is less than that from smoking, which I'll take as a win. And it supports the NHS England and the British Midwife Council's standpoint on vaping as well. So it's good to see that the real science is starting to win out a little. Whether it's actually followed by people, I don't know. But Stuart, that's a bit harsh. Vaping Irish, don't tell lies, you don't have any mates. He does. People love him.
I've got to admit, I was just reading what they were on about with CDC, saying about don't buy face masks because they don't work. But as a community, can we trust the CDC?
After all the crap they came out with?
Yeah, but after the crap that we know what happened last year with the THC,
I trust no one.
it's sort of like, yeah, but that's the point, though. They are a governing body that are supposed to be helping the community to stay safe. But we know now how crap they are with that. So can you even trust them on anything that they say anymore?
No.
Gailey, thank you for that mental image, darling.
I don't trust anyone.
Like a Teletubby.
Yeah, Chris, it's getting to the point where you don't feel you can trust anybody.
I don't. The fact that I abide by certain laws is purely coincidental. I live by my own rules. Whether that goes in hand with the laws that they've got in place or not, I don't care. If they choose to outright illegalize vaping tomorrow, I'm still going to be out in public vaping. That's just the way it is. I live by my own rules. If that gets me, repercussions for that, then so be it. But I'm not going to be told how I can adult.
I mean, it's
make my own decisions.
Flat Cap's just put it exactly what I was saying. If we disagree with what the WHO says about vaping, how can we believe their advice on the coronavirus?
Well, this is it. And as you said, I know it sounds tinfoil hat time, but isn't it very convenient when this has appeared? Yeah?
Go on then.
Just the way it's been blown up in the media. There's been far more lethal infections. Ebola, for one. Yeah? Okay, not as many cases. But you didn't see this sort of hysteria about that.
No.
Yeah. I mean, what was
it? Mid to late 90s. Look at the mid to late 90s. All you heard about was HIV and AIDS. Yeah. It was everywhere. Mid to late 90s.
But that was more an attack on the lifestyle than it was about the disease.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, can you remember them adverts?
Oh God,
on
yeah,
telly with
Hurt.
with the big blooming slab of blooming concrete with AIDS written on it.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, did you see in the press I think it was in the local rag actually, but there was a story. Singapore exchange student walking through the street. And two of the uneducated masses decided to come up and give him a good kicking. All because he's personally brought coronavirus to this country.
There's no bro.
But believe it or not, people, university students, are being told to move away and all that lot.
Yeah.
Local Chinese restaurants have took a hit because of it. People have the actual amount of people that are ordering Chinese have dropped, and it's like these people have been living in this country for God knows how many years.
Exactly.
And this is how stupid we are.
You ain't kidding, Gailey. They do walk among us. It's worrying. It really is. I'm wondering how long. I really am starting to wonder how long before somebody brings the media to task about this. Because it's Flybe are blaming the virus for going under. Flybe were under experiencing economic problems way before the virus.
I'll share after the show. I'll share with you guys a short video, very short seconds. But the Vapor Technology Association actually was on Good Morning America in mainstream news the other day, and in a positive light. They weren't painted in a negative picture at all.
Well, it's about damn time because they've had 12 months of getting their ass kicked.
Yeah, which is weird to see it on ABC News.
Well, I find it very disconcerting that people have stopped thinking. And this to me is the cause of the issue. We've stopped thinking and we've started believing.
Oh yeah, totally.
You don't have the freedom of thought anymore. You're told what you need to know, and that's all you need to know.
There we go. Bunny's just put mainstream media totally to blame for all the scaremongering going on. they're telling blatant lies and causing mass hysteria, and they
But
are.
that's not just the network, though. That's not even the network's fault. That's because of the people that own the networks.
Oh,
That's because of the politicians. That's because of all the big money. It's not the mainstream media themselves. If they didn't have the funding from these politicians with their own agendas, then they could make the stories true.
Yeah, but Chris, you've got to look at the UK model. The BBC is effectively funded by the government.
Truth.
Through the TV license. You know,
I mean, here in the UK, we have no choice. If you want to watch television, you have to pay a TV license.
Yeah, you have to pay a monthly fee.
No. You've got to, even if you don't watch the
Wait, you have to own, in order to own a TV, you need a license to own it?
Yep.
Why?
If you own a PC, if you own a computer, a laptop, or anything like that, you still have to have a TV license.
For the monitor. That's dumb.
So for argument's sake, you watch pay-per-view television like Sky, or you watch other channels that are free. They are free to watch, but if you want to watch any of them, you've still got to pay a license in this country.
Right.
And that's paid via the government.
I don't agree with that.
The annoying thing that I find with the BBC is the BBC has a second company called BBC Worldwide. Now, we pay for the creation of television programmes, things like Top Gear, Doctor Who, and all that kind of stuff. But BBC Worldwide sell them programmes to the States and all around the world. But the money that they make from them television programmes does not go back into the system of the BBC that we're paying for. No, that goes into a private company called BBC Worldwide. And that's what really bugs the hell out of me. So you imagine Top Gear.
Oh, they're extending the license to include anyone who owns a smartphone too?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Same capabilities as a PC. It'd be interesting that though.
Mm.
So if you have any device that you can watch live stream TV programming, laptop, mobile phone, set-top box, satellite, by UK law, you need that TV license. I would, however, suggest that you have a look on YouTube about TV licensing. I found a 20-minute video. And basically, they were showing the adverts from 1950. Where, do you remember the old adverts you used to get on the telly? You know, we know what you're watching.
Mm-hmm.
And they've made the same claims since 1950. Yeah? And at no point has any technical data been leaked on how they do it. Back in 1950, the technology was nigh on impossible for it to have existed. Yeah, they put in a freedom of information request. Various people have put them in, asking for details on the technology that allows them to pinpoint what channel you're watching. Yeah, and all they have ever received is a very grey explanation that it goes on the amount of light emitted by the TV screen. And they match that wave pattern against whatever's being viewed live. Right.
Can you remember though? They used to have an advertisement with the TV van.
That's the one.
The van with the aerial.
And
they could pinpoint exactly what you were watching when you was watching it and everything.
Yeah. Absolute cack.
That's crazy.
They don't even have the legal right to enter your property.
No.
But it's like anything else. If you buy a PC, or you buy a television or anything like that, or your satellite box and everything.
Oh, the record's there.
That's where the records go to. So every time you buy a new television, you have to tell them your address and everything, and that goes to the licensing department.
So you get a friend that doesn't watch telly to buy the telly for you.
But then what happens is you will get a letter or an email, maybe not an email, a letter stating if you have got a television in that property. And you either say yes, you have one, or no, you don't have one. obviously, if you say no, you don't, and you do, then obviously you're breaking the law if you have one.
Yeah.
That's how they've got you.
They've got you bent over a barrel, Chris. They really have. But
dumb. That's dumb.
Well, they are talking at the minute. There is a proposal that the BBC would go to a subscription service.
Oh. Like Netflix.
Yeah.
Very similar. But there is a lot of pressure against that, especially from sort of OAP groups, etc. Because at 8, I think it's 80 now, and chat can probably tell me if I'm wrong. You actually get free TV license after that age.
And they're trying to get rid of that as well.
Yeah, they are. It's unbelievable. The BBC have a lot of people bent over barrels, desks, and all manner of things. Not since not since Dave Lee Travis nearly got sent down. No, they haven't. I think most of that was back in the 70s, Rev. What was that? Oh, it's all right. So.
Yeah, the problem with that one, Bronco, is that if the TV that you've got connected to a VCR, if it can pick up broadcast TV, then obviously you need a TV license.
You would have to literally remove the aerial connections, wouldn't you?
Oh, you'd have to totally take everything out of the actual television. You'd have to.
Yeah.
Hello, Vaping with CJ. What's up, Josh?
So, I mean, we've gone way off here.
Seriously, way off.
Yeah,
way off.
We still got a half hour. It's good.
No, I mean, it's. But the thing is, what we're looking at now is, and the reason I brought up the documentary, we've been duped by so many people for so long. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many people? I remember back in the 80s, when I became a student, and you always got the fly guy in the student flat saying, "Nah, you don't need a TV license." And the amount of people that are like, "No, they can see what channel you're watching and all the rest of it." Now we're facing the same thing with vaping, and we're saying, no, it's going to improve your health. And all of a sudden, thanks to the media and all the pressure from everybody else, we're looking at, no, it'll kill you, lipids. I mean, even in the report that we were discussing, they do mention the yellow card scheme, which is, let me find the bit, because the yellow card scheme is where they believe that harm has been caused by vaping, and they are expected to report it. Yeah. And here we go. So 6 nationally representative surveys to examine the prevalence and characteristics of vaping in England. They've used the data collected by NHS Digital from Stop Smoking Services, data from the MHRA's yellow card scheme. And it was reported that there have been 2 deaths due to lipid pneumonia from vaping on the yellow card scheme. Now, where are we? I've got to find... Just give me a sec, because there's a secondary report. It's the one with the mental health. Here we are. And in that, it gives much more detail on this the reports received from the yellow card scheme. And I found it quite terrifying, really, because there appeared to be very little to back it up. Where are we? Oh, come on. Right, so the yellow card scheme. From 2016 to 9th of January 2020, so we're looking at, 4.5 years? Linked with vaping. 9 cardiac disorders, 1 endocrine disorder, 4 eye disorders, 43 gastrointestinal disorders, 37 general disorders, which could be anything from aching little toe up to a sore knuckle. Immune system disorders, 10. Infections, 3. How the hell do you get infections from vaping?
I want to know about the eye bit.
Well, so do I.
I mean, what's that? E-liquid in eye?
Quite possibly. So of the general disorders, one of those was fatal, reported as fatal.
Is this here based here in the UK?
This is the UK. This is the MHRA's yellow card report. So remember we talked about it 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Where they were saying that doctors should use this to report. Injuries, 13, one of which was fatal. 2 investigations. 1 metabolic disorder. 2 muscle and tissue disorders. 20 nervous system disorders. 1 pregnancy condition. 1 product label.
Well, hang on a minute. Are you telling me that vaping can get you pregnant?
How the hell do you
Shit!
think that?
I've been vaping for nearly 9 years, and I thought this was just, I'm gonna have a baby. Vivian is gonna have a baby.
Some of these are awesome because according to this, 3 psychiatric disorders were caused by vaping.
Well, there's a lot of nutters on YouTube that vape, so yeah.
True. 73 respiratory disorders, 13 skin disorders, 2 vascular disorders. The total reactions for the drugs were 245, with 2 fatal outcomes. That is all from 84 actual reports put in by doctors. So of the 84 reports, what we're looking at, 2, 3... It's about 3 reactions listed on each report.
I just think being pregnant. Gonna have a baby.
Absolutely crazy.
What shall I call it? Purge. My baby purge.
Now, the MHRA reported that it received a further 23 yellow card reports associated with vaping products prior to the TRPR coming into force.
Me clutch is the daddy.
And then media reports from 2011 and 2019 indicate that a gentleman died from lipoid pneumonia after switching from smoking to vaping. An open verdict was reported. And there was a fatal cardiac arrest reported in 2016 that was alleged to have come from nicotine vaping products. So, again, it's making me wonder, what the hell's going off with some of these doctors? I mean, what? You've been vaping...
Near enough, 9 years.
9 years, yeah? I've been vaping for 3. I'm not pregnant. My eyes are all right. Well, not according to Irish anyway. Irish, I can see it now. No, Mum, I didn't have sex. I got pregnant from vaping.
Yeah.
And you know how that happens, Irish, don't you? You give them a real cloud blower, and then while they can't see because of the vaping, you slip them a crippler.
Hello, Tuna.
Oh, man.
Simon, I do believe that the Clutch Duel is coming out middle of the year. And it's going to be a series.
Kaylee says, I hope to God I don't get pregnant, Zan will faint.
I know. I mean, come on, let's face it. Every single one of that, what you've actually put there can be... I mean, are we searching for ghosts now? Paranormal activity? Because, I mean, this is where it's getting to the point of...
Doris Stokes is alive and well and wearing a white coat, apparently.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, you can blame vaping on anything.
Well, it's been blamed for nearly everything.
Yeah.
And whether
thing is, though, there is no basis there.
No.
None whatsoever. But obviously, they're making, like you said, you've got this card scheme going off. So, for argument's sake, you was a doctor that's anti-vaping, you can put whatever you want on.
Well, this is it. I mean, I wonder personally how many of those cardiac disorders reports came after the glance study, which is now being withdrawn. You know, nervous system disorders, really, with vaping.
It just boggles me. It really does boggle me.
Now, the link that I put in was the one that's been widely. I'll tell you what. I will actually. The link I put in originally is the one that has been widely promoted. This is the one that this report that I've just put up is the one that specifically links with mental health issues. But there is a lot more detailed information in this on the actual research data, and it's well worth a read.
Gail's just put in, I've had a sore throat and my asthma has been bad for 4 days. If this had been 4 years ago when I smoked, I would have been in a blue light to the hospital by now.
Yeah. And Iris just said, you can see how vaping could cause gastrointestinal disorders, get your NIC level wrong, and you could end up with the runs. You could. It's also, if you remember back in the day when Vic first started, he was having a reaction with the PG, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. And I've known quite a few people that's had a reaction to PG.
Yeah.
My brother, for one, it gives him real bad stomachache.
Yeah, it can give cramps. So you can see where that one's come from. But muscle and tissue disorders? Come on.
It's giving him spots.
Well,
you're getting a vaping rash.
Tennis elbow from picking up your mech.
That's it. That's probably it. Carpal tunnel with up max. I've been using a hog for ages. It's carpal tunnel now for picking it up.
Have you had any unnatural wrist pain, Chris, from vaping?
Oh, not vaping.
Easy, boy. Now, I did mention this earlier. So, with the NHS long-term plan, so as I said, by 2023-24, they will be offering people who are inpatients on mental health services the ability to vape whilst in inpatient settings. So, most of that, I have a reaction to my right arm has beefed up since vaping these heavy mobs. Good lad.
Good lad.
Now, the Tobacco Control Plan for England was set out ambitions to reduce the prevalence of 15-year-olds who smoke 3% or less by a survey, and that was supposed to come to the end of 2022. Reduce smoking prevalence amongst adults from 15.5% to 12%, so they want a 3% drop. Reduce the prevalence of smoking in pregnancy to 6% or less, again by that 2022 deadline. Reduce the inequality gap in smoking prevalence between those in routine and manual occupations. So they're trying to get mid-income and low-income to drop. Improve data collection on smoking and mental health to support people with mental health conditions. There is very strong parallels between the two. There always has been. But there's not a lot of data to prove it. And then to help people to quit smoking by permitting innovative technologies that minimise the risk of harm. And that's where the vaping comes in. So on the whole, it's a very positive report for the future of ENDS and heat not burn products. Whether you agree with the heat not burn, it's all about harm reduction.
Of course it is. So what do you think, Chris?
Don't know. I don't really have thoughts at the moment on that.
Not anything. Nothing at all. You've got no thoughts whatsoever about it.
I think on the whole it sounds good.
Okay, Chris. Oh dear.
Now, the nicotine-containing vape products are regulated more stringently through the revised TPD, which will be TPD2. And then we've got the TRPR back in 2016. Oh, something binged. But since non-nicotine vaping products are less stringently regulated than nicotine-containing products, they are calling for a review. So, I'm guessing, since non-nicotine vaping products are less stringently reviewed, I don't know of many.
No, I don't.
Because even CBD's got...
No, CBD ain't got any nicotine in it.
Right, so I think that's where they're coming from then. So non-nicotine vaping products. So I think they're calling for a CBD to be reviewed on a similar way as...
well, they nicotine. I know from watching the news, was about 2 weeks ago, they were saying that all CBD products now have to be registered by, I think it's March of next year.
Yeah, that was more to do with trading standards, wasn't it?
It's trading standards and Public Health England.
Yeah.
Sinner!
They are... Oh, the Lord of Lewdness, the God of the Gutter is with us. They specifically state that the spate of lung injuries and deaths in the US is not attributable to regulated nicotine vaping products. All suspected adverse reactions or suspected deaths need to be assessed. So that's more along the lines of the vitamin E acetate. So the conclusions of the previous reports are still an important message for preventing harm, which is the vaping regulated nicotine products has a small fraction of the risk of smoking, so we're sticking with the 95%. Smokers should be encouraged to try vaping products. People who never smoked should be encouraged not to smoke and not to vape. And vapers should be encouraged to use regulated nicotine products only and stop smoking completely. So the message coming out is exactly the same. Which, for me, validates what they came out with previously, There's a raft of new evidence and they're still coming out with the same conclusions.
Yeah. It's sort of like you're almost beating your head against a brick wall, because the evidence, the more evidence that we give them, the more evidence that's sort of like, yeah, this is definitely 95% safer. They are still trying to find other ways, and it's sort of like, it's almost like somebody saying that they've got a headache but won't take the tablets to get rid of the headache.
It's crazy.
It's that scenario, because it's sort of like, we've found a solution, here's the solution, but you're still not happy with it. We found something that is a lot safer than smoking a traditional cigarette, and you are still not happy.
Yeah, but you look at it. Let's make a comparison, yeah? So if everybody went out and started stripping willow bark to get the aspirin from it, and stopped buying the big pharma stuff, don't you think the lash should be the same as we've seen with vaping? Because it's not going through the regular channels. It's not going through something that's controlled and can be taxed. That's
it's
always
like I've said it all along. I wouldn't say the problem, but the problem with vaping is because it is a organic word of mouth device that has grown.
Yeah.
And it's all by word of mouth. We've as a community have created the amount of people that's actually vaping because we've passed that information on. No single government, no single health authority or anything like that has actually helped to actually bring vaping to the masses. It's literally the community and word of mouth that has brought vaping to the masses.
Rev's just raised a really interesting one there. Expo will probably not go ahead. Stuttgart in danger. So is that I'm guessing coronavirus must have hit Birmingham then?
Yeah, according to Rev, it's hit Birmingham.
It's interesting though, because if Expo's that would solve the Chinese problem, wouldn't it?
It's going to be interesting. I mean, let's face it. I mean, don't forget we've got the Olympics this year, haven't we?
The face. How the hell are you going to tell who's won if they've all got masks on? Oh, love it.
Chris, how's the coronavirus attacking your area? Or have you had nothing at all?
We don't have any. We don't
Hi,
have
Mark.
I'm not.
Not in my area, anyways.
It's interesting how it's going through Europe that way.
Mm.
Well, I mean, if you look at the spread, it went China land-based over, didn't it?
Mm.
Then it's hit Italy. So you've got to wonder whether it's migratory workers or just because of the... Oh, there we are. Nice Expo was cancelled. No venues allowed to hold events that hold over 5,000. That's in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Mm.
Jesus.
I do know that for definite that distributors are running out of certain coils.
Yeah. The lads were saying that they were having problems getting all the stuff.
Yeah.
Winter Olympics sponsored by COVID-19 makes you wonder if the athletes all got hit with it. Would it make the Special Olympics the Chinese one by... Oh, too soon, Sinner.
Ooh,
Too soon.
Too soon. Too soon.
Bless you.
But it's going to be interesting this year what's going to happen.
Well, I would suggest that if we're going to start seeing shortages of coils, that we're going to see home coil making a bit of a comeback.
Yeah. Start digging out your RDAs, kiddos.
Oh, yes.
Because I tell you one thing, Lethal Coils will be doing business. Because they ain't going to run out of coils, are you, kidder?
Nope. And as long as I have anything to say about it, people I know won't be either.
There you go.
As long as I've got an account with Crazy Wire, we're laughing.
Yep.
I've got enough 24 to keep me going for ages.
Oh, trust me, I've got enough wire here to, keep me going for a life. Well, I can't remember last time I bought any wire. I've got that much wire knocking around.
Quick question for chat then. Do you still build your own? Are you buying in handmaids? Are you using stock coils? Because it still seems to be a lot of people going from the more traditional mods over to the pods and the AIOs. I'd just be interested to see what people are saying.
Oh,
Ooh,
Darren
dear.
says Crazy Wire stopping vaping wire.
Are you joking?
It came in today. The news came in today via email.
Wow.
Well,
Darren, you just upset me, Darren.
that killed your plans for the future.
Mm.
No, because I know where there's chicken coops. I can go 21. I don't care if it's got chicken shit on it. I'm using that bugger to make coils.
Vaping with Mo, bro. You need any tip making some handmaids? You know where to get me. You know where I'm at.
No, trust me, Mo's good at handmaids. That's if the graffiti was correct at the NEC. Oh, bless. Stuart says, make my own, got 5 reels of wire. Sinner says, if I run out of wire, I have a lot of mesh sheets from my Genesis Atty days. Good man. Bought miles of Crazy Wire some months back, various gauges, so Reb's all right.
Yeah, I mean, Crazy Wire's been going for a while.
Crazy Wire.
In fact, I remember when it was so like, because obviously they're a wiring manufacturer, and they didn't do really much in vaping. You could get Canthal, a few different gauges, but really not much. And then all of a sudden, they had their own. I'm wondering if it's because people like myself, who used to buy single coil round wire wire, that is actually declined, and obviously people are buying pre-made.
it makes you wonder, because the prevalence of stock coils really has shot up, hasn't it?
I mean, it's since I've been. I mean, I know I've only been there 3 months, but since I've been working at the vape shop, not much. I've had a few sales of wire, but to be honest with you, it's mainly stock coils. And to be fair, it's not even pre-made normal coils. It's normally literally a stock coil that we sell.
Well, it's interesting because it looks like Stealth Vape is still up and running, so they're normally my second supply for wire. Yeah, still got the nichrome. Mind, there's a hell of a difference on prices. Yeah, so let's check this out. Actually, the Crazy Wire site. I'm intrigued now because I've not received that. I've not seen that memo. Wire and stuff. Yeah, we won't be offering these products from April 2020. So you can currently get 30% off wire using the code March30. Yeah?
Mm.
And that appears to be on all vaping wire products. So if you're after a bargain, now is the time. Oh, there we go. Stealth Vape have been doing a scary amount of sales the last few months. Intermediate and advanced vapors will be fine, but newbies will suffer. I agree with that one, Rev. If you people are looking to get into coil building, I think that's going to really kick them. Because Crazy Wire was the go-to for a lot of people, wasn't it?
I mean,
oh, don't believe it.
Yeah. I've always gone to one place. I've always gone to Lightning Vapes.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, unless I'm in a pinch and I go to a local B&M. In that case, I'm picking up Twisted Messes wire.
See now, I mean with Crazy Wire, like their cancelled prices, you know. So where are we? Let's have a look. Because that was where I first started off. So that's the ferric. 27. Come on, give me a break. I must admit, I really don't like this new style website they've got. It's not as clear as it used to be. Really isn't, because it used to be you went into the vaping wires, then you chose which material you wanted, and then literally the AWG, so you started high at the top and it went lower as it went down. But now they seem to have mixed it all up. Oh, there we are. So we're into the realms of 18, flat ribbon.
Stuart and Timmy, no. So I'm not going to be singing a song and playing the guitar.
Well, why not?
I enjoy holding it and it makes me comfortable.
The difference in price that I'm seeing is about a £5. Because Crazy Wire starts at around $1.99 and goes up to $7.99. Stealth Vapes, the most expensive product I saw on there was $11.99. So it's going to have a detrimental. Or does it... Easy.
It could be. I'm just looking on there. It could have anything to do with the lack of supplies from China. Possibly. I mean, it depends where they're actually getting the wire from. I mean, because it's a UK company, it don't mean it's wire. Metal from actually the UK.
Well, I think China produces most of the world's metal these days, doesn't it?
They do, yeah.
It's not like the good old days where British Steel was a flagship company.
Pittsburgh. Steel Town.
We're just up road from Sheffield, mate.
Oh.
Yeah, them days are gone.
That bull with massive pair of knackers on the side.
Yeah, I can remember it, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember for anybody that doesn't know, there used to be a very large metal bull next to the Tinsley flyover. And the most striking feature of this bull was it was anatomically correct.
Mm.
And the amount of times we drove past and the kids are going, "What's that, Dad?" And nothing, son, nothing. You don't want to give them an inferiority complex at 5, do you?
Exactly. Right, guys, we've come to the 1:30. So, Chrissy, baby, what is coming up on your channel for the rest of the week?
Well, my morning streams, as most of you guys know. Saturday, we've got another live juice tasting. I've got some reviews that I got to get out this weekend. And because I'm late, I'm behind schedule on that one. And then live streams in the morning, throughout the weekend, throughout next week. And then come Wednesday, we've got the next Vape Lounge Live. And that should be it. I think that's about it for me.
Yep. So will you keep us informed with the Washington rally?
I will indeed.
Yeah,
I will let
because
you guys know
the
what's
more
going on as changes come up, and I will know if I'm actually going to be able to make it or not.
Well, you've got a GoFundMe, haven't you?
I do.
Yeah. Do you want to slap that in chat for us, the link?
Sure.
So if you'd like to help Chris get to the Washington rally, he's got a little GoFundMe.
Get some more content up on the channel, get a vlog out, do some lives from the rally like I did last time. Yep, that's the one. That's the link. There we go. There you are.
Awesome. So, Steve, what you got coming up, kidder?
We've got Tales from the Ohm on Sunday. Mine is Picard and Doctor Who, according to the comments in Facebook.
Oh, geez.
I was chuckling.
I chuckled as well.
There's a few things going off in real life which may impact for a bit. Mainly after talking to BT today. So, not good. But, so it'll be Tales from the Ohm on Sunday. It will be another Ohm Service next Thursday. There is another written review due to pop on the website in the next couple of days once we get some real life problems sorted, and then we're good. So what you got coming up?
I'm just trying to sort real life out at the present moment. Real life has been kind of taking over certain things, so the channel has been elapsed for a couple of weeks now. So yeah, I've got to get me arse in gear and start getting some reviews out, because I have got quite a few reviews to come out. So yeah, I'm going to sort that out. I'm probably going to try and get a juice review out this week, and then obviously next week I will start my hardware reviews back up again. But I've needed a little break from reviewing. I've needed to get the old mind back into the vavum, should we say. So, yep, that's what's going off with me.
Also, don't forget, on the 28th, the True Vapor, I'll post his YouTube
Yeah,
link.
please, yeah.
He has a show called The Vaping Misfits, and this month, on the 28th, is going to be a charity stream for mental health awareness and suicide prevention. If you guys could please go ahead on over and hit the subscribe button, join us for a good time for a good cause, and it'd be great to see you guys there.
See, you take it down to the bone, and you've opened the door for Irish there. Adulting sucks, Mark, but you're short enough, you could probably just shave and not have to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Bit harsh.
Yeah.
Bit harsh.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to wrap this one up. Steve, I'll let you take it away, then Chris, and I'll say my goodbyes.
Guys, thank you for joining us tonight. It's been fairly dry. I apologise for that, but I think there was a lot of the reports that needed to be chatted about. We seem to go down the TV licence route for some reason. I don't know where that came from, but hey. So anyway, thank you for joining us. If you want to join us Sunday, we'd love to see you there. Otherwise, hopefully, we'll see you Thursday. Chris?
Big love, guys. Thank you so very much, Mark and Steve, for another good show. I really I had a good time, even though I didn't really show it very well. Thank you guys all in chat for being here with us, enjoying the time, and showing me love and support to my good friends up top. Thank you to the Spanners out in chat for doing such a great job. And that's about my sign-outs for today. Guys, please do remember that you are the master of your own destiny. You're the only one in this world that can pick and choose how positive or negative your days will ever be. So keep the positivity high, keep the smile on your face, and let the negative brush off your shoulders. I love you all. I'm going to try and stay positive. I hope you guys do too. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Mark?
As always, Steve, Chris, thank you so much for a cracking little show. And I do love our little shows. I really do. Guys in chat, thank you so much. You have been wonderful as always. Spanners, thank you for looking after chat as you always do. I'm going to keep this one nice, short and sweet. Thanks ever so much, and we'll see you all on Sunday, 2 p.m. for Tales for the Ohm. If we don't see you on Sunday, we'll see you here again next week on Thursday, 7 p.m. So from me, Steve, and Chris, thank you so much, and bye!
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 Okay.
What's your name? Carmen.